Okay, we have arrived for episode 67 here in CS22, and well, we just came off of a unique experience in the form of the first of what will likely be multiple endurance rounds. Although those won't be too frequent of a thing, they might end up popping up probably like once a month. English, once a month. But probably not much more often than that. As those take quite a bit of preparation on everyone's end. It takes us admins a while to prepare the event. And then it takes the drivers a while to prepare for the event, because just the different amount of conditioning you need to sit in one car for 30 minutes straight, rather than 10 minutes or like the average lap race is somewhere between 7 to 9 minutes, so at any rate, we will have a similar experience today, as well, we'll have something coming back and something leaving, basically at the same time. Literally the same time, but in the same time frame. Further delays, let's just head into the first race. And we are green from the first race of this episode. Takes us to Road Atlanta, 680 class racing. I would say business as usual, except there are a couple of things, one of which you can already see. The first is two drivers have moved their cars around. That's a weird looking S14 to me. Tetsuko Kuro has upgraded her S14 to 680 class. As has Jake Downey, has upgraded his Integra to 680 class, courtesy of a K20 engine not stolen literally, but, snagged from the engine bay of a FK8 Civic. So, like, the model that Joseph Miller drives, or Shoji drives. We also have two brand new drivers. Logan Cool in his Trans Am Firebird that looks like it's been sitting in a barn for 40 years. Honestly, it may very well have been. And he's going for a pass on a truck. Oh, and Logan has already backed it into the back of Saki Tsubaki. And not the greatest start for the Firebird, as he's already taken damage to his car. And then Zed Essex. Yeah, I think it's Essex. I'm not going to say it's the sex, because that would just be awkward. So I'm going to say it's Zed Essex. Yeah, you're seeing this right. I just realized that the names are on the screen. Yeah, it's the Honda 2 and 4 concept. I don't know why or how he has this vehicle. I don't even know who he really is, but he's here. He's one of the most drivers here, that's for sure. And looking back down the order, our POV driver, meanwhile, Travis Wild, already working his way up into the top 8 rather. That's the wrong camera. Tries for 7th against McIntosh, but he breaks quite late into this right-hander, and well, the Supra stayed ahead for then, but a bit of oversteer on exit, and Travis Wild takes full advantage, so he will grab P7 from the Supra. Get a bit of a traffic jam going on here. Kyosuke Komeiji has created an absolute clusterfuck behind him, and Travis Wild's going to shoot on the outside of all of it, and he moves into 3rd place from 7th in just a matter of moments. Kyosuke was also overtaken by Kawashiro and is attempting to keep Jake Downey and Tyler at bay. Oh dear. Travis thought he was clear a bit too early there and nearly spun himself off the front of Taro's Super B. Almost actually said it was a Roadrunner. Supposed to be one, but it isn't. And now it is Wild's turn to challenge this guy in his concept Honda. The specs on the 2 and 4 are very puzzling. This thing's got 225 horsepower, but it weighs only 900 pounds, and he has used that lightweight to its advantage, taking the lead back from Travis Wild. Despite the over 150 horsepower difference between that Porsche and that Honda, the Honda's got plenty of acceleration and a decently high top speed, so its straight line capabilities are definitely deceiving. It's way better in a straight line than something with 230 horsepower or less should have. Regardless, Travis Wild makes the pass into the last 2 corners, and he returns to the race lead. And we hit the final lap here at Road Atlanta. Almost said Road America. I wish. As Travis Wild has made good on his escape plan. Taro is still attempting to hang on to P3. Jake Downey's upgraded Integra is certainly holding its own, with the engine from a 20 years newer model really obviously helping that out. But he will probably still struggle to keep that Countach at bay. Looks like Essex is going to have one more chance into the last turn. Wild defends inside. Essex doesn't care. Gets to the right side of the Porsche, but can't make it stick. So with that said and done, Travis Wild takes the last corner and takes the checkers here at Road Atlanta over the debuting Zed Essex and Michiru Kawashiro, who stole third from Kitano at the last possible moment. And also, Dom stole 5th from Jake at the last possible moment, so go figure. That is a highlight for one new driver and low light for the other, who only manages 15th. That is, well, I guess just one race. Next time, just brake earlier, you know? It's that simple. Just don't run into the back of a BMW. A very rainy round 2 is underway from High Speed Ring. 640 class racing. A 5-lap event will run it a bit longer than usual for this location. That's kind of necessary. And there's only really one major thing to report here. And that is, oh geez. Yeah, the onboard driver of Trevor Graham has recently encountered a bit of a dilemma, I suppose, to call it. As he just shoves himself right into the door of Shoji Hakare. As you can see, the vehicle is devoid of the Burning Rubber podcast and JSR branding because he got fired over the weekend. Seems the JSR camp have finally had enough of the bickering between Trevor Graham and Tyler McIntosh, and Trevor Graham was fired. I guess the way that they look at it was ultimately Trevor Graham did start the fire, because the first time that McIntosh took him out, it was a driving mistake that also damaged Tyler's car. But when Trevor Graham paid him back, you know, that was unwarranted. McIntosh tried to talk it out with him after the first incident, and Trevor Graham wasn't hearing it. So that already made things look kind of a wash, a myth. And then he retaliated and took Tyler out of the race. You know, his teammate at the time already, and leave. Actually, no, they weren't teammates. They were teammates after the next one, in that Northern Isle race. This was where everything went to shit. But again, I guess they think Trevor Graham started the fire. Anyway, it's all ugly, it's all... well, I say it's all settled. No, now it's just not team drama anymore. The bickering will probably continue until either McIntosh or Graham have no working cars left. But at least now it is not you know, it's not an inter-team thing of like they're teammates that they're supposed to get along and they're not. Now they don't. Now they're not required to, so they won't. Believe me. But as we look back at the race, as I monologue for 2.5 minutes, Trevor Graham is already running P3, and you'll never guess who's ahead of him, as Fernando Fidanzi is in a pretty comfortable lead at this moment. Ah, shit. Here we go again. Yep. I'm not really surprised. Actually, if anything, surprised that it wasn't worse. So through very Trevor Graham means, Trevor Graham has taken P2 away from McIntosh, although I'm honestly surprised he didn't just straight up wreck him out of the race. He just gave him a pit maneuver. Tyler took no damage because he had some kind of talent or something, I don't know. And both drivers carry on with Trevor Graham now leading him, or ahead of McIntosh, and very quickly gaining on Fernando Fidanzi up there. As we're about to cross over into just 2 to go. Yuka Mizoto is going to move into 3rd place, I believe. Oh yeah. And Trevor Graham takes the lead by just absolutely scorching his way ahead of Fernando. And T1. He goes around the outside for good measure. Shoji is just not having a good day. He does not have any power to speak of in that Civic. I think Sham might have been in a crash or something. As we've begun the final lap, Trevor Graham has about 2.5 seconds in hand here. Takane and Morris got into it. Oh, big drift. He almost embarrassed himself right there, but he managed to hang on to that as 15. And he makes a statement with this one, basically telling JSR that I don't even need you. Trevor Graham will head out of the last turn, and he will win at High Speed Ring. It's going to be a drag race to the line, which Fernando Ferdinand will defeat Nico Mizotto for P2. And Tyler is surrounded by Italy, as Lombardi places 5th, just a bit over Melissa Weiss. So honestly, I guess that could have been worse, so we take those, maybe? I don't know. So we don't have a choice. Might as well take those. Don't have to kick anybody out today like I kind of expected, so that's a win. And we are green from round 3. It is Tokyo Expressway in the 720 category. The east layout, which is generally the most chaotic layout, for one of whatever number of reasons. This long straightaway being most of that reason. But braking for the hairpin can also cause a mess. Speaking of mess, Shoji Hakurei just about made one of her first corner. He's up into P12 already, following some super late braking. Yeah, Drift Thompson administers a huge block on Futaba, which I think just gave her a bunch of front end damage, and she also has rear end damage. It's only getting worse, and then she also gets a little bit into the back of O'Reilly's Cobra, which is also enough to damage his car. Sasaki literally lives here, so I expect pretty good results from him. Boy oh boy. Something just like intimidated Takahata right out of the way. Oh, Jesus Christ, you two. Get a room already. America's done nothing to you. German twat waffle. 3 times in 3 races they've done together. Roush is another one I'd probably put the spotlight on, considering this Mustang, as I found out the hard way, is literally built for the Tokyo Expressways. And as Shoji makes his way ahead of Takahata into P4, basically just off the merit that he's one of the 6 cars who doesn't have damage at the end of the first lap. 6! They look like a bunch of fucking wankers. It looks like a sketchy overtake for Shoji there, but he manages to get ahead of the Mustang. Ugh. My throat just, like, really didn't like me for a sec there. The next few passes Hakurei's got to make aren't going to be any easier. The other two literally live on, in Tokyo. Unless they have to drive these expressways almost every day. But Shoji proves to be the dominant NSX in this matchup. And he moves into P2 and only has the Lexus of Shiro Sasaki to pass. Shiro is doing little movements to try and break the slipstream, but it's not enough. Shoji gets alongside the RCF, and off he will fuck. Yeah, I don't think Shiro can take it back from there quite. As the sun rises here at Tokyo, we started this race at like, oh my word. We started this race at like 6 a.m., so it makes sense. It's a bit chaotic in the back. A win isn't it, I suppose, you know? But like more than usual. There's Siegfried Brandt and Raven Katsuragi make starts today, as they haven't been making too many as of late. Raven's probably too busy streaming. As for Siegfried, I have no idea. Maybe he was like working on the vehicle or something. It's hard to be sure. The headlights turn off. And then just as quickly have to turn back on as we're now in a tunnel. Now Thrasher is rolling now. He's probably going to have a chance to overtake his teammate here. Indeed, he gets alongside Sasaki, but can he clear him? They make a bit of contact. Meanwhile, big save from Shoji, who a little bit too eager on the throttle there. That brings the two Black Stallion drivers right into the fold against the NSX. Maybe they can capitalize on him as he's a bit disoriented from that. Or is he? Actually, it kind of looks like he's just not at all. Yeah, I don't think he is. Meanwhile, he used to continue the battle. Archer still got alongside the Lexus. They go too wide through another set of turns. Still, a winner, or a second place car is not determined. Still not determined. Looks like Sasaki finally nabs the advantage over the Mustang. They battled side by side from turn, like, basically turn 1 to the end of the lap. And it's not like they're done yet either. This battle probably prevented them from having any chance of overtaking Shoji, but I don't know if they care. And then meanwhile behind them, Natsuki's trying to find a way ahead of Veronica for 4th position. Kazuya is distant 6th, but he's still going to finish ahead of Akira, so I don't know if he's complaining too much about this result. And heading down the front stretch one more time, Shoji Hakure is going to grab the W here, and Shiro is going to hold off his team owner and grab P2 over Thrasher. Drag race to the finish, and Natsuki's going to just barely take 4th from Veronica. Kazuya was so much slower than everybody else that he almost got caught up to by cars who pitted on lap 1. Like Siegfried, who recovers to 7th. So there is another Tokyo banger, as come to expect. Even though there wasn't too much of a fight for the lead, battles for 2nd place and a drag race to the line for P4, meaning it was a 2-3-4 effort for Black Stallion Motorsports by the end of it all. Well, 2-3-4-7 for that matter, because Brandt and Riley was there, but he had a pretty race, to say the least. Only managing 11th, so not much to write home about for that one, but not really his fault. He got smacked into by Futaba heading towards, like, turn 3. Not really his own errors that put him back there, it was someone else's. And I'm sure he'll be giving Futaba a mouthful, as he's good for that. So I've been told by Ellie a long time ago. But yeah, that is race 3 in the books. On to an interesting race 4. The Dirt Division has returned. Yes, your eyes are not fooling you. We returned to the Dirt Division for a 2-lap race around a Fisherman's Ranch with a completely different set of cars from what we used to have. Well, not completely different, but a lot of new drivers are a part of the battle. Before, we never even hit a full grid of 20. Now, we had 23 sign up. So, yeah, open category, because that's just kind of how it works. And we are on board with, big contact. We are on board with Tetsuya Harada in his 22B. I didn't call him Tenshi this time, as he rubs fenders a bit with Aunt Shaughnessy. For note, the cars that run in the dirt class, they have reinforced bodies and chassis, so it would take a lot to deal damage to them. Probably for the best, because there's no pit lane here, or any of the other dirt tracks. And Futaba's having a great time up here. Meanwhile, I love this camera shot. The car's running down the consecutive hairpins. I think I just saw Parker. Yeah, Parker gave Harada the business there, heading through the second hairpin. He muscles his way by the Subaru. Must be I don't know. I remember Parker liking Subarus, but there must still be a certain hint of Eva-Subi rivalry there. A bit more sideways than he probably bargained for there, but I mean, that's just kind of what you get here. Yeah, Futaba is just having the drive of her life. She's on her own out here. The weakness of the truck, which is its really weak top-end speed, is pretty well masked by not being able to get to a very high speed on a dirt track like this. And a smooth, standard fare, stable ride from a truck. I mean, it's pretty much built for this. However, she's gonna find that her drive just got a whole lot more complicated as Harada enters the fray and jumps into the lead, quite literally, and he will be on his merry way. And Logan Cool also makes an appearance in this one, having, also appeared at Road Atlanta earlier in the week. To describe this person, as he is another ARC driver, but he is not associated with JSR. As a matter of fact, I understand he and Scarborough aren't really the biggest fans of one another at the moment. But Logan Cool I could best describe as just the dictionary definition of fuck around and find out. Always coming up with the most crazy things to do, and somehow making them work. He's off-roading a Firebird right now, and he's not the only person driving such a car, to be fair, but it's still that takes some nerve. Thrasher's doing the same with his Rally Stally. We got, Scarborough rallying the Beetle. Tyler's here in the general lead, giving a little bit of a door check to Emilia Fontaine. And then we have these two driving, many rally minis exist, just this isn't one of them. And then we have a Renault 5 from Amber Ashard, former Rally Pro, mind you, from 30 years ago, who really doesn't look like it at the moment. Harada is just gone. Like, there is no contest right now. I think Futaba's accepted that. She's just trying to hang on to P2. Logan's starting to make headway too. He's gotten really close to Lombardi and to my dad. You know, four-wheel drive machinery, and he's just in a Firebird. Oh my word! Oh yeah, he's pretty fearless. Logan doesn't really stop for anybody. He doesn't even stop for death, I don't think. He's very much single file right now. Nobody's really making moves except for Tyler, who just slung it down the inside of an Evo and made the move stick with ease. That is something else right there. From what I understand, Harada and Rantanen have been waiting for this day. Goddamn, Tetsuya is about to make the absolute most of this. Clearly, he's an entire straightaway ahead of the rest of the field. What the hell is this MOV gonna be? Tetsuya Harada will return. Well, he will make his Dirt Division. He'll. Fuck me. He'll make a big statement and win by a lot. Nobody else even had a chance to finish. That's how much he just won by. The game literally did not feel like waiting for even P2, but I think it might have been like an 8-9 second margin of victory for Harada, so yeah, I'm beginning to think he probably figures that was worth the wait. He had to wait 30 some odd weeks. You know, like, he had to wait like 8 months for his chance to run a dirt race here in the Challenge Series. And the second that he got a chance, oh man, he did the rally thing. He did it terrifyingly well. The roulette race is green. We are here at Fuji, and there have been rumors going around for a while about it, and it seems they have now been confirmed by multiple sources, including the center of them. For apparently weeks now, Johnny Parker has been considering exiting the Challenge Series and pursuing a more NASCAR or at least oval racing oriented career, and he has finally decided to commit to that, but he can't really do that and run here at the same time. So we are watching here is Johnny Parker's final Challenge Series start here at Fuji, and this marks the first voluntary driver exit since all of the Mercury girls left at the end of the season, or at the end of season 1. And now, nearly 20 weeks later, we finally have I say finally, like I've been waiting for this. 20 weeks later, we have the next example of it with Parker making his exits after today's race. And he's being played off by a multitude of Corvettes. Garrison's leading, and we have one other. We have Blanchard. We have goddamn DeFalco, who has a Corvette-powered Firebird. Corvette, and then yeah, Camaro even for good measure as IS Savaki gets ahead of Heinz Richter. Okay. Barbara, so did you really think there was a space there for that? I mean, I guess there was, but only because he created it. Yeah, Parker's probably getting a good reminder as to why, or he, at the very least, an encouragement. He might be on his way out the door, but he's not going to just be a pushover, Barbara. I think you earned that one. He also nearly does the same to Aquila, but he manages to react in time to the Firebird's abysmal cornering grip. Case in point out there, he's just sliding out. I'd like to point out that Garrison's car is in 720 class. Just putting that out there. And he's keeping Blanchard at bay. Getting a bit of grass on the wheels. You know how it is. Okay, Blanchard finally grabs the lead from the 720 Corvette. Johnny Parker follows. Tries to sneak to the outside at turn 1, but Riley brakes well enough to, prevent that. And Barbara is next to overtake basically just a slower version of her own car. Futaba still leads the 680 category. Garrison leads the 720, and then 760 is just a 3-car battle, which Barbara is currently losing, to say the least. Parker's still going to find a way ahead of the CR1, probably because he lacks the downforce in these turns, but not having that downforce means he's going to be better equipped on the straightaways like this one. And with relative ease in his final start, Johnny Parker will grab the race lead. But Blanchard's going to have the slipstream advantage. It's not going to do a whole lot by the looks of it though. And so I think Parker is probably home free. Bit of an overcooked breaking point from the Corvette, or from the C6 Corvette. I can't just say the Corvette since there's like 6 of them here. Elsewhere in the running order, yes, Futaba still has a pretty much a stranglehold on the category lead in 680. Zed Essex is 8th, and he's not far away from her, but not close either. Damien Kotexa leads 640 and is ahead of multiple cars and lower divisions. And Sodakov leads the 3-car class of 600 here. Oldenburg is not great right now. There really isn't much of a race to speak of in 600. McIntosh clearly had something go wrong on that one, as he's all the way back there. Oh, Zed's caught Riho, heading to turn 3. Let's see if he can attempt an overtake here. No, I think he wanted to try outside, but Riho was on the racing line. He couldn't do that. Essex uses the small size of his car to his advantage and squeezes into a gap that no other car could fit into, and he will take the class lead away from Futaba. This is the weirdest battle. This is literal David versus Goliath. Look at the size difference between these two cars. Then there's just Aya and the Camaro behind them for good measure. It gets to strike the balance between miniature motorcycle car hybrid and big-ass pickup truck, and we just have a Camaro. And this is going to be the final lap, both of the race and of Parker's Challenge Series run. The timer is going to run out with like literal seconds left in the race. The whole top 5 could not be much more spread out. Actually, this whole race is just really damn spread out. We got Taro catching Heinz Richter, and honestly, that's it. Oh, we got Jing Wei right behind the car in a higher class, for good measure. There's one more turn left in Johnny Parker's Challenge Series career. He makes it a fine one, and he is going to end his career on the highest of notes. Johnny Parker will grab the victory in his final Challenge Series start. See you on the other side, Parker. Riley and Barbara complete an all-Corvette top 3, with Garrison coming 4th. I swear there's so many Corvettes. And then Dufloco's like an honorary Corvette, comes ahead of Akemi. Zed Essex wins 680 class. Kotexa wins 640 and is currently running down a car in a category above him. And Sodakov won 600 pretty handily. And so that does it for episode 67. We gained the dirt division, but we've lost Johnny Parker. Most would say that's a pretty fair trade, to be honest, especially when we've got 160-something drivers in the Challenge Series. Losing one, you don't really notice it too much, Also, Parker's attendance has been slipping ever since the rumors began spreading, which is kind of what gave the rumors any sort of traction in the first place. You know, it's like, well, he's probably not racing so often because he's planning on quitting and moving on to something else. And then sure enough, that's exactly what the case is. He's probably he's probably preparing to start his NASCAR career. He got a bunch of time to waste running the Challenge Series. I'm honestly partly surprised he ran the last two races. Maybe he was waiting for the dirt race. He wanted to do one more rally race in his Rally Lancer before calling it good. But at any rate, that is episode 67 concluded. Till the next one.